Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Sean Pickard, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Courtney Rego, the Director of Coaching for Capital City Condors Hockey. The Capital City Condors are a family of ice hockey teams for those who are unable to play on any other hockey team due to a cognitive and/or physical disability. Players are ages 6 and up of all ability levels and are each given a high degree of personal care and attention by the Condors on-ice coaches. Coaches work hard to meet the needs of all players, whether they are learning to skate or ready for more advanced techniques. Some players even receive a one-on-one attention throughout each session. A practice consists of on-ice warm-ups and drills, followed by an inter-squad game. Often they are able to host friendship games with other local hockey teams, and those games are especially fun for everyone. Thank you for joining us today, Courtney. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me to kind of talk about the Capital City Condors.
Excellent. It's good to have you here and learn a little bit more. But before we really get into the Capital City Condors, let's talk about the Courtney Rego experience. Why work with individuals with disabilities in hockey? How did you get here, Courtney?
Yeah, it's been an amazing ride. So we've been around, we're going into our 18th season. So I've been here for 16 seasons. It started out, I was a high school student needing volunteer hours. And I loved working with this population and just getting so much out of it. So I one time, saw it in a news article in the newspaper about the Capital City Condors, and I went to my first practice. And we often say we're bigger than hockey, but seeing the magic on the ice and just seeing the players interact with each other, interact with one another. It was just an amazing experience. Myself, I'm an avid hockey fan and player as well. I knew I had to get involved, and ever since then, I've stuck with it. So I've transitioned to on-ice volunteer for a couple of years. I transitioned then into a head coach, and now I think in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been in this director of coaching place, and then kind of oversee all the operations with the coaching team. And it's just been an amazing time. And that's kind of like my journey so far, and it's continuing to grow with this wonderful program.
That sounds like a really fun journey on a day-to-day, to be honest with you. And one of the things that really stood out for me, and as an on-ice coach, I'm sure you can help me understand this here, but your players are ages 6 and up of all ability levels. How do you break them down? Do you have age divisions inside your grouping? How does that work? I can just see some 6-year-old getting absolutely crushed. How do you avoid that?
Yes, exactly. So when we first started, 18 years ago, we had 3 players, and then we grown our program. So we have 140 individuals that are playing with us. So obviously, like you said, it does pose a challenge. So what we do is we have 7 teams within the city of Ottawa. So we divide players based on, so we have 2 learn to skate programs and entry into hockey. And then as they transition and skill becomes variable, we kind of divide them into that. We also do take into account age and size, because when you can't really have a 6-year-old playing against our 45-year-old. But yeah, so that's how we divide our teams in the 7 categories. We do base it on age and skill level.
Okay, so there is a bit of a breakdown there. I was kind of concerned when I read that, but this is the opportunity to learn, which is why we do this. But I saw a couple different things on your website. In particular, you've got your About Us section. There's things about Condors VIP, where you play, Always in Our Hearts. Talk to me about all these different tabs. Let's start with the Always in Our Hearts. What goes on in that tab?
That goes on into our tab because we are a family of hockey. And we're bigger than hockey. So our community, as some age, and we've had some unfortunate losses within our program. So we've had a couple of players that have now passed on. So that tab is for them, in memory of them, because we'll never forget them. We always say, forever a Condor. Once you join our family, you're stuck with us, just like a family. So that section goes towards that, as well as some of our parents that have passed on as well. We just it's like an in memoriam to them, because they're forever in our hearts, and we kind of play for them, just like we play for the logo on our crest and our family name. But that section is just, it's for a place for that we can remember our beloved lost brothers and sisters.
I am so happy to hear that you have that there. That is lovely, just to constantly have that memory of who has had an impact on the organization. So let's talk about impact on the organization, honorary captains. How do you become an honorary captain? Who are the honorary captains? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, our honorary captains are exactly what that means. They're like the heart and soul of our program and our player. We just love them. So our honorary captains are usually like we've had a lot of friends in the NHL and recently with our PWHL Professional Women's League, Brianne Jenner is an honorary captain as well. These are the folks that have helped us grow our program, grow our game, and have been instrumental advocates for continuing to spread the word and spread our program through the city and through the league level. So when we originally started, we had Matt Karkner. He was our Ottawa Senators defenseman. And when he kind of transitioned, when he got, unfortunately, because the game, they get traded. So when Matt Karkner got traded years ago, he kind of was telling about our program to Kyle Turris, who's been our honorary captain and continues to advocate for us through his retired professional league. So those are like the honorary captains that have helped us. So we have Matt Karkner, Eric Condra, Patrick Weirkosh, Kyle Turris, Brianne Jenner is our current honorary captain. And it's funny. So like a lot of our teams, that's what we've named our teams after. So we have like a Team Neal, Team Karkner, Team Boro, Team Jenner, Team Turris, and so forth. So it's for those that are helped us in the game.
Excellent to hear that. A lot of the NHL players, past and present, even the women's PWHL. Lovely to hear that all these folks are stepping up and taking a little bit of interest in a smaller organization such as the Capital City Condors. This is awesome to hear. I shouldn't say smaller. That's a lot of people you impact, over 100 people, but, now you've got all these different tabs. Which one of these tabs is your favorite, Courtney, and why?
Oh, that's such a good question. What is my favorite? There's so many. Of course, Always in Our Hearts is my favorite and honorary captains, but I have to kind of advocate and kind of speak towards our coaching staff and our board of directors too. But our coaching staff and our volunteers are the heart and soul of our program. Of course, our players are why we do it, but our coaching staff is what makes the program just grow. And seeing the amazing work that they do on the ice and the amazing drills that they adapt towards the player. We always say we accept anybody and everyone that would otherwise not be allowed or, allowed in traditional mainstream. But seeing these coaches work day in, day out, every Saturday, teaching the players and working with them, you just see that bigger than hockey thing when that player finally gets their first goal or finally gets their first pass. And that's all because our coaches and our hardworking volunteers, and just seeing their dedication, their drive, that they come out every Saturday with a smile on their face. They give up time with their families to come and just grow our game, grow our players. We have so many stories of just amazing times on the ice, but I always say I can think of this one player that, it was about 5 weeks. She wasn't wanting to interact. She didn't want to play. And then finally, at the 7th practice, she finally grabbed the puck and passed it to a volunteer. And you see the parents crying just because this player was deemed she could do nothing. Doctors were telling her not going to be able to walk, not going to be able to talk. And then seeing her interact with another player, passing a puck to a coach. Some would say, oh, that's a little thing, but to us and to parents, that's groundbreaking work. And that's, solely because of our coaches' time and dedication. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite one. And I think too, because I love coaching and I love just like teaching others. So I think that would be my favorite.
Oh, being able to have that hands-on impact with someone and see someone flourish in front of you, it's just an incredible feeling. So I can understand why you like that one. But let's talk a little bit about the Condor Shop. What can people buy online, and why does the Condor Shop exist?
Yeah, the Condor Shop is best. We've just kind of started really adding new products to that shop. It's great. So it's anything. If you're a player, if you're a fan, if you're a parent, whatever, you can go onto that shop and proudly don our logo. I think just like every mainstream player, especially me when I was growing up, honestly, obviously I love the game, but honestly, you just love to be like the pros and get to wear your logo, get to wear your number on your back and your last name because you're a hockey player. So I think just like our players are hockey players as well. So just like every other person in the world that plays hockey, they want to don on their colors and their team stripes. So that's the shop that fans and players can go on. And then you often see a lot of like our honorary captains will buy some things, and just anybody in the community that if that they want to support our program, they can proudly wear our Capital City Condors swag. It's also good too that that money goes towards our program and growing the game. So we get to add more ice time. We get to go to tournaments. We get to travel and support our players to get the perfect experience of being a hockey player in the community and growing our game. So yeah, highly recommend going to Condor Shop and picking up some items on that website.
That's very good to hear. And I'm sure, the proceeds from something like the Condor Shop, that would help you expand your programming as well, wouldn't it? I mean, something like the Ball Hockey Summer 2025, does that come from any of that?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So that's an initiative that we get to also do because some of our players, I should say a lot, some of our players don't kind of like the sensory challenges of having like all that equipment or the hard puck on the glass. So we introduced ball hockey. It's also another way too that our players don't have to say goodbye when our season ends and wait till September. So for all those reasons, we said, let's do kind of ball hockey. So of course, those funds help us get to rent the rink, I guess, rent the rink and provide that social piece and that opportunity for our players. Because I always kind of say our slogan is bigger than hockey. This community of Condors for our players is so important for them. So just kind of offering any chance that we can do to just continue growing the game for them and just growing their social skills. And just having friends. That's exactly what ball hockey is for. We also have a thing called Dragon Boat that we're able to go into. They have an accessibility cup. So we also register a team for that, and funds go towards those things. So we just get to do some fun things that the players get to.
That sounds awesome. I mean, I got to be honest with you here, Courtney. The ball hockey, I am a hockey fan, but, being an individual with balance issues now, ball hockey is a lot more my thing than getting on the ice. So that is really cool. But let's talk about this. What did you call it? Accessibility cup for the Dragon Boat?
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's talk about the Dragon Boat a little bit. That sounds interesting.
So much fun and so cool. So, and I'm an Ottawa person, like I've grown up in Ottawa. So the Dragon Boat is a big thing that Ottawa has. And I think it's been about 6 years that they've offered the accessibility division. So we've been able to go into it. Awesome Ottawa, they're no longer around with us. Awesome Ottawa was another group that was able to go into it. And we just kind of get to showcase what accessibility is and kind of like what you guys stand for, that accessibility, providing that outlet for everyone to do the same sport, even if we have to adapt it to the program, but we can still do it. So that's exactly what Dragon Boat does. We get to go out. The boat has half of our players and half of like either parents or coaches. And we get to go on the water and we get to be part of this amazing Ottawa Dragon Boat Festival. We get to be with others and see like all the other divisions. And we get to do 2 competitions. And then our day is done. We get to kind of just hang around. But the program has been amazing with the Ottawa Dragon Boat because they've given us a really prime time slot. I think we do it 10 o'clock this year. And it's great. Everyone just gets to kind of come out and see like what is accessibility. And, when you're far away, you're just thinking, oh, that's a boat on the water. And that's exactly what it should be. We're kind of breaking down the barriers and showing that, there shouldn't be any stigma and allowing us to showcase who we are and what we can do. And then it's great too. We get to kind of talk to individuals as well and spread the news about the Capital City Condors. But it's a really, really fun day. It's nice, usually nice hot weather. You're on the water, and it's another day that we just get to kind of interact with our teammates and meet new folks, especially in those that compete in the Accessibility Cup. We get to kind of compete for that Challenge Cup, and we get to hoist it. But it's a really, really fun day, and kind of thinking bigger. It's a really great initiative that they're also doing, just trying to break down the barriers.
That sounds like really, really cool. Now, where does this happen? Okay, let's talk about where this happens, when it happens. I mean, it's not on the Rideau Canal, is it?
It's by the Rideau. Where is it? It is by like the Ottawa Rowing Club.
Okay.
Dow's Lake, I think.
Okay.
Is that Dow's Lake? Yeah, it's by the Ottawa Rowing Club. And it's on June 21st this year. And it's a big festival. It's really great. Folks can come and watch it as well. I think it's free to entry, but it's a really great festival, and it's so much fun just being around others and having fun. But yeah, it's June 21st, Dow's Lake Ottawa Rowing Club.
That sounds like it's going to be a really good day. I expect pictures of Condors colors that day too, Courtney. So I want to hear more about this. But let's get back to Capital City Condors hockey, right? We talked about how some individuals will get a little more attention when they're on ice and what a practice consists of. But let's talk about someone who's brand new to the organization. They're coming in, it's their first practice, their first couple of practices, whatever the case may be. How do you determine who gets how much support or who gets what resources? Do you have a sorting hat? Is it one of those things where you're tossing sticks off to the side from the pile in the middle? Who gets what? How do you determine that?
So it goes kind of based on our 7 teams. Our team, Karkner and Borough, who are our entry level. Either if you're new to the program, you've never skated before, we try our best to do one-on-one, so a volunteer to a player. Sometimes, just with volunteer shortages, we'll do 2 players to 1 condor, 2 condors to 1 volunteer. And those 2 teams are where we're trying to build their skills, teach them the game, and just trying to get them comfortable on the ice, comfortable with the gear, comfortable with the sounds and all that. And then when we usually take our first month is kind of our balancing and our sorting month. Before that, the coaches kind of get into a boardroom with papers everywhere with all our Condors players' names on it, and we just kind of sort them we just try and match them up to the proper team. And then as we progress through the teams, it kind of gets less and less support in the sense of the one-to-one. So then we'll get, okay, maybe this player will be able to kind of skate with a Condor friend and be able to learn from the Condor, and less volunteers are needed for the one-to-one support. And then I kind of forgot to mention, so our only team that's mixed level is our all-female team. We initiated this team about 3 or 4 years ago, just because we noticed that our women and girls were getting older and different things were happening. So that Condor team is the only one that will have all abilities and all ages, but it's been really good. You see in that team that the older, more senior Condor girls are really empowering and inspiring the younger girls, and you kind of see them transition into an on-ice helper or a volunteer to really get that younger skater up to their abilities. So that's a really cool team. And then the other teams, our top tier team, which is our team tourists, they kind of function, they do offsides, icings, and they kind of have three volunteers, and they're kind of functioning like a mainstream team where there's really no direction, just all coaching. So they're really independent skaters, and it's really amazing to see some of those players have really graduated throughout the program and some of them were learned to skate, and now seeing them functioning at that high level, it is really groundbreaking, cool stuff.
That is just an incredible journey that you could obviously see one skater make over the years, but that would be really cool. Now, in regards to the all-female team, I think the only thing I can say is, come on, girls, get out there, play hockey. It's fun. Come on, keep going. Man, that sounds like it would be really fun, progressing through those levels, though. Now, are there any restrictions to being a capital city Condor? Whether we're talking, well, actually, you know what? Let's focus on the Condors themselves instead of the coaches. But are there any restrictions? How do you become a member? Does your family need to be part of it? Let's talk about that.
We really try and reduce, we like to say there's no restrictions. If you've been told, no, you can't play hockey in a mainstream team, then we're accepting you, we're adapting the game to you. We often say, because we have some individuals that are physically disabled, but they want to be an upright skater. So we have these assistive devices that support the player. Some of our folks have cerebral palsy, but they don't want to be in a sledge hockey because they, with dexterity or other exceptionalities that they have, they want to be an upright skater. So we kind of adapt the game. We get supports that no problem, they will come on the ice and we can adapt and support the game to them. So no real big restrictions, but if there's kind of a program that is better suited. So like in a blind athlete, we would kind of help them go towards blind hockey. But again, we would never say no because we don't want to be the ones that say no. This is an accepting community and a supportive community. So there's really no barrier. There shouldn't be a barrier or a restriction when you want to play hockey. And that's what we stand for.
I love to hear that, taking it that next step. But let's talk about the coaches. Someone wants to volunteer. Maybe it's not even a coach. They just want to volunteer, help out with programs, things of that nature. How does someone become a volunteer?
Absolutely, yeah. And we are always needing volunteers because they're the heart and soul of our program. And it's nice too. We like to advertise that you don't have to be an on-ice hockey volunteer or coach because we have a lot of folks that are like, oh, like I don't know how to skate. No problem. We have so many opportunities off the ice with helping out with our fundraising and our golf tournaments and all that. So it's a simple process. You just go to our website and we have a tab that says would you like to volunteer, and you kind of go on that and fill out an application. And then our volunteer coordinator and myself reach out and we just kind of get you onto the ice or onto the wherever you want to kind of volunteer. We say that you have to be 16 and up just because we have to get a police record check. So that's that unfortunately is our only restriction, but just reaching out and we can make a place ready for you.
That is so good to hear. Now, this is I'm going to say my favorite question here, Courtney, because this is going to tell us a lot about you. But what is the one thing you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be? How do we stop it?
Oh, it's a favorite and good question. I think like what I'm seeing is just it's the barriers and seeing, I think they're like the judgment and the stigma of like what we assume that they can't do. And it's just showing that our players can do it, and not just our players, folks with disabilities, that when given the opportunity and they can do it. So we shouldn't be assuming they can't do it. Let's give them the resources and give them the access to show that they can do it and they have the ability, the knowledge and the skill set to be involved. We always say that, sport is a catalyst for change. And I'm so passionate for that because providing this simple sport, if you think of it, but all the other opportunities and groundbreaking things we can show through sport, I think can really change and start a movement. But yeah, it's something I'm very passionate about, and could talk for hours about it. But I think it's just kind of removing that stigma and just providing access. But it's a big barrier.
Stigma is a big barrier to a number of people. But let me ask you something that doesn't involve stigma. We've talked about the fact that you need different volunteers and what the process is for joining. But let's talk about how to actually do it. Is there a website people need to go to? 1-800 number? How do people get a hold of you to either join as a Condor or become a coach or volunteer?
Yeah. So our website, and we are on social media. Our website, capitalcitycondors.org, has all the resources there. I'm really starting to try to go out to schools and kind of get out to those community centers and just try and talk about our program, just to kind of try and grow the game. Because again, if you don't like hockey, still try and come out, because we often say hockey is just kind of what our program is and what gets people out there, but the relationships, the networking, even for parents or guardians, the friendships that they get, and just kind of you get to bounce an idea off of each other. Like, you're not alone. You have 140 and then some people around you to help you support, and especially too with volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers in different fields of work, and just all kind of coming together and learning how to grow the game and how to help, reduce the stigma. But that's kind of what we're doing. But easily going on our website, there's a tab for if you want to join as a player, or if you want to join as a volunteer, there's resources there. And then I'm going to hopefully try and get into schools and community centers just to kind of grow our game. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, and you can follow our journey as well. We often post about our friendship games or Condors in the media, Condors in the community. We get to kind of showcase our Condors at work, which is a really cool segment that we do as well, just to kind of showcase them.
That sounds really cool. Our Condors at work. Now, before we go any further here, I think we have to do all the handles, all the @, things like that. How do people find you on social media?
We're at Condors Ottawa on Instagram and then Capital City Condors on Facebook.
Condors Ottawa and Capital City Condors.
It's Condors. Sorry, I'm bad at Condors Hockey Ottawa on Instagram.
Condors Hockey. I have screwed that up already. Courtney, what is it?
So it's Condors Hockey Ottawa on Instagram. Yeah.
There we go, folks. Courtney said it better than I could. But Courtney, unfortunately, we are running out of time here. Would you care to say goodbye to the folks at home?
Thank you guys so much for listening and just kind of listening to what our program is. And if you're ever interested, I'm always available. I'm on the website, so you'll see my name. I'm Courtney Rego, and just I absolutely would love to chat. And just thank you so much to you guys at home and for you guys on the radio here, just to give us this outlet to, spend some time and talk about growing our game, growing our community, and about the amazing organization that we have here in Ottawa.
Thanks for coming out, Courtney. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Courtney Rego of the Capital City Condors. And that's all the time we have for today. I'm Sean Pickard. Until next time, everybody, bye for now.